Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bill and Scott Sports Show. I'm Scott, and today I'm joined by Ethan and Kevin, because Bill was at work and couldn't make it today. So let's get right down to business, Ethan. The World Series started yesterday. Can you fill us in what's going on?
Well, first of all, they have to do what they do best, the Giants. Get early leads in games. You can't afford to fall back games like they have in the previous series. For example, the Reds and the Cardinals, where they've come down from at least 2 losses. Also, they need spark offensive performance other than Marco Scutaro and Pablo Sandoval, because the rest of the offense in those 2 series combined just hits for .217. Last night we did see that Pablo Sandoval, off of Justin Verlander, has 2 home runs off of just him, and another one later on in the game.
Yeah, that was an absolutely monstrous performance by Sandoval. And, I mean, at least you said it was good that the Giants got ahead early. I mean, because in the past 2 series, they did come back from behind, which, I mean, I guess that shows that they can do it again, but I'm sure they'd be more comfortable. And then also, on the other side, we've got the Tigers, who came off a very impressive sweep of the Yankees. Tell us the keys for them.
Well, they need some big pitching performances with Doug Fister and Max Scherzer pitching. They're all going to have to face Matt Cain, so you have to have a very good performance, just like Zito had against Verlander.
Yeah, I mean, well, you've got the Tigers' offense, Miguel Cabrera, Prince Fielder. I mean, I think they're capable of. I mean, the Tigers do have good pitchers. I mean, the Giants do have good pitchers. But I think the Tigers' offense is very good also.
Yeah, they need another breakout star just from those 2. Like they need Austin Jackson to explode or something.
Going back to the Giants for a minute, do you think they're missing Melky Cabrera?
That's a good point.
Yes, they are missing him. He's still on suspension ever since his testosterone abuse. Last night they played Gregor Blanca, who did all right.
Yeah. Yeah, he was going to win the batting title, so that's just a big bat out of your lineup right there. And the Giants do need the offense.
Who do you think is going to win the World Series, Ethan?
I'm actually predicting the Giants are going to win it in 6 games.
And why's that?
Well, they're not going to. I don't think they're going to get the sweep because I don't think Lincecum's going to be able to return to that star form in the other World Series a few years ago. So that might be the game where they lose.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to miss Cody Ross like in the last World Series, all those big bat flips, home runs?
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. This year it's probably going to be someone like Posey or Scutaro.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Scutaro kind of, well, no one really saw that coming, his big performance.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Coming off of the Red Sox trade.
Red Sox, whole nother story. I mean, the good news is the Red Sox, though, did hire John Farrell. They actually traded for him. They traded Mike Aviles.
Yeah.
I believe that's an improvement over Bobby Valentine, and we'll just have to see how it goes. Hopefully they'll come back strong.
And you have to look at all of the player adjustments they made during the season, like that trade with the Dodgers.
Yeah, but the Red Sox have freed up salary cap space. So let's see who they're able to get, who they're able to sign, trade.
They definitely need to make some roster moves to have a chance at the championship in the near
Be a
future.
very exciting free agency, let me tell you that.
Absolutely. We have anything else for baseball going on?
No, that's really it.
Yeah, so everyone tune into the World Series. It's going to be good. I mean, it's definitely going to come down to 6 or 7 games.
You don't want to miss this one.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. You don't have your Red Sox or Yankees playing, but it'll be a good series. Thanks for that, Ethan. And now moving on to the NFL. What's going on over there, Kevin?
All right, Scott. For the NFL, one of our latest storylines, star running back Maurice Jones-Drew of the Jacksonville Jaguars has injured his foot. Will be out several weeks. The Jaguars fear he may have a Lisfranc injury of his foot, which would keep him out the rest of the season. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's terrible. He's the Jaguars' best offensive player. He's the Jaguars
Team.
He's the Jaguars team. And they, it's already bad enough with him. They really can't afford to lose him. What do you think, Ethan?
Yeah, and they lost Blaine Gabbert last game, too, so now you're left with someone like Chad Henne.
And now they have a road trip to Lambeau Field this week to take on the Green Bay Packers,
man.
which could be quite the
Things
blowout.
don't look good for the Jaguars. We can just hope that next season Maurice Jones-Drew comes back strong. Yeah.
All right, next, Redskins quarterback Robert Griffin III, also known as RG3, has taken the NFL by storm. His ability to run and pass effectively has made game plan for opposing coaches a nightmare. To show you, he's already got a 79-yard touchdown run and 88-yard touchdown pass this season.
Wow, it really shows you the impact that a rookie can have just right out of the gate. He comes to a team like the Redskins, and he's doing amazing. I mean, from a fantasy perspective, I think he's leading the league in points. I mean,
he's the start. He's the leading quarterback and player in all categories.
yeah, and the dual threat player he is. Defenses are having trouble adjusting. You either have to deal with someone who's a very good passer or someone who's a very good runner. But with RG3, you get a little bit of both. So yeah.
In practice for the Giants this week before the game against the Redskins, they had to use receiver Jarrell Jernigan and quarterback David Carr at the same time to mimic what RG3 can do to prepare for the game. So
Wow.
it's a good point to show you just what he can mean to the Redskins team in the future.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
He's basically Michael Vick.
But he seems to be better at running and passing.
Well, and he's younger than him too, which makes it even more impressive.
And the last thing for you, the Atlanta Falcons are the only undefeated team left in the National Football League with a record of 6-0 through 7 weeks. I know they happen to be the favorite team of one of my colleagues here on the desk, so do you care to give us more on that, Ethan?
Well, a lot of people are thinking that they can go undefeated, but personally, I don't know, I'm a stander of my team. I don't think they're going to go undefeated. I'm assuming that maybe they're going to go like 12-4 or something.
Yeah, I mean, but I think this is their year. I think they will go far. I mean, Matt Ryan, who's performing, he's performing to be the quarterback who they thought they'd be. Michael Turner, Roddy White, Julio Jones. Their team is filled with stars. It's only a matter of time before they finally take this one.
Yeah, they still have games against the Buccaneers and Saints, and even a
Panthers.
game against the Panthers.
Yeah, good points, guys. So now moving on from MLB and NFL, the NBA season is starting next week, and so now we're going to go live to an interview with NBA correspondent Adam Klein, who is in Framingham, Massachusetts.
Hello, Adam. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So we're here for a NBA preview. So can you please give us 5 teams to look out for in this upcoming season?
15. All right. Well, I think there's one team that really sticks out, and that's the San Antonio Spurs. They've been really good this past decade. I mean, obviously, I think they've been the best team in the decade. But I think this is the last year of them being relevant in the West. Tim Duncan, I think he's old. Greg Popovich is great in how he handles the minutes for his big 3 players, but Duncan's in his late 30s. Ginobili's in the last year of his prime. Parker, he may be young, like compared to Ginobili and Duncan, but I think they won't be as good as everyone has expecting them to be. Unless their players get a huge jump from last year, they won't be as good as they were last year. And I think you'll see them. I don't think they'll do well in the playoffs. They'll definitely be a team to watch out for in the regular season, but come playoff time, I think they'll just run out of gas. Another team that I think will be interesting this year is the Memphis Grizzlies. They didn't really have a really good playoff year, but they're one exciting team to watch. You have Rudy Gay, who's probably at the peak of his game right now. Zach Randolph, who's still in his prime. Marc Gasol, who is becoming one of the top big men in the league. And Tony Allen, who Scott. I mean, come on. The guy can defend anybody. So, I mean, you can put him on Kobe Bryant, and Kobe will have a crappy night. The next team is the New Jersey Nets. I got to get used to that. Brooklyn Nets. Sorry about that. Got to get used to that. With key acquisitions of Joe Johnson and Gerald Wallace in the past year, I think they're going to be a really big lookout for the East, and they'll definitely change the landscape. Darren Williams will have a really good season. Brook Lopez and Chris Humphries will be dominating big men, and Joe Johnson, watch out, he's the quiet superstar, everyone says. So I think they'll make a run in the playoffs. Another team that I think will be good to watch out for is the New Orleans Hornets. Now, I don't think they'll do too well this year, but they're going to be really exciting to watch. Between Austin Rivers and Anthony Davis, 2 young flying guns, will be really fun to watch. I think at least between those two, you got Rookie of the Year probably going to New Orleans. And they also have most improved from last year in Ryan Anderson. and he's going to be really good this year. Or he's going to be a good player this year. Finally, I think the Philadelphia 76ers is another team to watch out for. They may have lost Andre Iguodala and Lou Williams, but they obtained Andrew Bynum, and supposedly he's second best big man in the league, so that's pretty good. I think what's key for them is that Coach Collins needs to develop all the players more and keep it going between Drew Holiday and Evan Turner. I think those are key players to look out for that team, and I think they'll make another run for the playoffs.
All right, thank you. You made some pretty good points there, like especially with the Brooklyn Nets and the 76ers and the Hornets. They might not we don't think they're going to win the division or the conference this year, but they're definitely young teams to look out for in the future. And obviously Brooklyn with the changing cities is kind of going to get them a little bit excited.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think the Nets and the Sixers, they definitely have tough competition between the Celtics and Knicks, but I mean they'll still make the playoffs because come on. I mean, you got the Bucks and the Bobcats. I mean, come on. Seriously.
Definitely. I think the season's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So now, what players do you think we've got to look out for this season?
Well, I think one player that really had a disappointing year last year, but I think will have a big bounce back year is Amari Stoudemire. Amari Stoudemire, as Knicks fans know very well, he did not have that great of a year, and frankly hasn't done much since Carmelo Anthony has come to the Knicks. But I think with the coach that they have placed in for the Knicks, and with the veteranship that they have, I think Amari will flourish, and I think he'll be back to his all-star form, and I think he'll have a great year. Another player to watch out for, he's a rookie this year, I think Bradley Beal for the Washington Wizards. He was great for the University of Florida, Gator fan, But I think he will be really good for the Wizards. John Wall is going to be out for a couple of beginning of the year, but I think that'll help Beal to get the NBA, get his game under him, and I think he'll have a great year. I think he might challenge Austin Rivers and Anthony Davis for Rookie of the Year. I think another player to look out for, and I think he could challenge Stoudemire for Most Improved, is Jeff Green of the Boston Celtics. He missed all last year with a heart problem, and for some indications of this year and seeing him on a European trip, he looked really good. I think he's coming back stronger. He looks very quick. He's got a great jump shot. Doc Rivers will use him very well, and I think he'll have a good season. Another rookie on the watch, I think, is Austin Rivers. I mean, this kid, he was NBA ready his junior year in high school. I mean, come on. The guy is freak. I mean, if he stays healthy, I think he will win Rookie of the Year, hands down. He is such a talented player. And I think another player to look out for to have that breakout season is Roy Hibbert. He's got the size, he's got the fit, he's got the offensive capability. He's 7'2". He's a giant, and he's gonna get his blocks. He's gonna get his rebounds. If he stays consistent, and if he develops everything like he has so far, I think you're looking at Roy Hibbert to becoming arguably in the top 3 in best centers in the league.
Yeah, thank you. I think those 3 big men you mentioned, Stoudemire, Hibbert, and Green, are all going to be essential to their teams because the Celtics, Knicks, and Pacers are all probably going to contend for the Eastern Conference Championship, and how well those big men are able to help their teams is definitely going to matter a lot. And also, you made a good point with those rookies. There's a very deep rookie class, I believe, this year. I mean, also, in addition to those, there's Jeremy Lamb out of UConn and Andre Drummond, also out of UConn. So it'll be exciting.
Picking local boys, huh?
Yeah. And so now that we've got our teams and players to watch, kind of the most important thing, who do you think is going to make it to the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, and then who do you think is going to take the ship?
Well, obviously, I mean, you got to put the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, they're basically penciled in. I mean, come on, they got the best player in the league. They got Dwayne. He's got the Miami Heat made some great acquisitions this year between Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis. If LeBron, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade's, I guess, backup or their role players get healthy and stay healthy, I mean, no one can beat them. And if obviously Bosh and Wade stay healthy, then it's unbeatable. I mean, their only problem is their big men, and they obviously didn't make it relevant last year. But I feel like there are teams now who are smarter and better than last year, so they'll figure out how to beat them. And I think that's what the Boston Celtics have done. And I think the Celtics will be in the Eastern Conference Finals with the Heat. And I believe that it will be a very tight series. But in the end, I believe the Celtics will win in 7. Because Celtics have a much deeper bench. They have players that can KG can shut down Chris Bosh. And, that's been proven. If Avery Bradley if he can stay healthy for them, he's the starting shooting guard. If he can stay healthy, he can cover Dwayne Wade all on himself. That's what I believe. And then in the West, the Lakers and Thunder are two teams that are far greater than all the other teams. You got the Clippers, the Mavericks, the Spurs. They might make it relevant. They might make it exciting. But the Lakers, they have a Hall of Fame starting 5. And they're going to be tough to beat. And the Thunder, they made it to the Western Conference Finals, and they only got better. So I think they'll make it back. But in the end, I believe the Thunder, with their athleticism, will beat the Lakers in 6 games. And finally, between the Celtics and Thunder, you just can't beat the Celtics' depth and how they are so deep. This is probably the deepest team in a long time. I've heard Rajon Rondo, who is all-star player, say that this is a more talented team than his 2008 team when they won the NBA title. So that's saying something. So I believe the Celtics will win the NBA title, coming back to Boston, Banner 18 in 6 games.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that you think the Celtics will win, because a lot of people are counting the Celtics out, but what they don't realize is the Celtics got so much stronger. They lost Ray Allen. They got Jason Terry to replace him. They drafted Sullinger, Fab Melo. They traded for Courtney Lee. I agree with you. This is one of the deepest teams they've ever had.
And they also made some small acquisitions of Darko Milicic and Leandro Barbosa just recently. Milicic, he may not be the same projected player that everyone thought he was, but he can still get rebounds and blocks, and he's the player that the Celtics need. And Barbosa, they're just adding depth, and he's a perimeter guy. He can play well. In the Olympics this past year, he was a very key contributor to Brazil.
Yeah, and also you talked about the Lakers and how strong their starting 5 is. Do you think that there might be a problem with them all gelling? You got Kobe who wants to take every shot.
Yeah, I don't really see it that much of a problem. I could see where you're going with it. They could have a problem like the Heat did, where they went 500 for the first couple of games and they spiked it up and eventually made it to the finals. But I think they'll be fine. Steve Nash is a great player. He knows how to gel everyone, and Dwight Howard's he seems like a good guy to be around when he's happy. And Kobe has a goal in mind, and that's what he wants. So.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add to this interview?
Yeah, I think another team to look out for is New York Knicks. I think they'll have a much better better year this year, and they have some great veterans now. Jason Kidd, Camby, so I think they'll play well.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you, Adam.
Hey, anytime.
Yeah, this has been great. Hopefully we can have you on the show sometime again.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
All right, well, once again, thank you very much for that interview, Adam. We appreciate it. You made some good points about the NBA, and we'll hope to see everyone next week.
All right, everybody. For my counterparts, Ethan and Scott, I'm Kevin. Good night, everybody.